So let's start. First, hi, thank you for being here today. I am Carla Garcia. I work as a Scrum Master with CI&T, and I'm here today to talk a little bit about how to embrace career impacting opportunities and my journey during the past, I don't know, 4 or 5 years in Latin America, working with digital marketing, SaaS industry, M&A projects, and all other experiences I've been during these years. So no, I'm pretty sure. I'm sure we are going to have some times in the end if you have some questions. But anything, just send in the chat here, and I am I'm not seeing this, but Danielle is seeing this. So to start to tell this whole history, I need to start in Montevideo, Uruguay, in 2016. I moved to there in 2016 to work. But first, it is important to say that I am from Campo Grande. And it's kind of funny because Campo Grande in English is big field. And since you have cattle and grain, you're almost like a big field. And this is our economy in cattle, grain, in government. I think our industry is changing here, the opportunity is changing, but this is the majority. And I remember that when I needed to choose what to study in university, I told my mom, Mom, I'm going to study veterinary. And she's a very transparent person. So she looked at me, it's not because you like dogs that you can be a veterinary. I'm going to try, Mom. And I spent 2 years trying to be a veterinary until I said, okay, it looks like just love dogs is not enough to be a veterinary. And then I moved forward and I studied business administration. I finished my graduating in 2013. And why it is important to talk about it? Because this is kind of the environment I grew up. I grew up going to the farms. I grew up seeing people studying something related to agriculture or related with animals, on how to work in farms. And I kind of knew that it wasn't what I was looking for me. And I didn't had pretty much sure about what would be my step, what next, what after university. But I knew that it wasn't veterinary or to work with agriculture. So let's go back to Uruguay in 2016. Some important facts about Uruguay is that some people uh, sometimes have this question, that is, if Uruguay really exists. And yes, exists, and is a small country, is pretty near from Brazil. It's also a neighbor from Argentina. So it's just by our side here. If you go to Porto Alegre, you just can walk and then you'll be in Uruguay. And it's kind of funny because some people don't know about Uruguay, and some people just know about Uruguay as a tourist place, or that is a nice country, nice to live, but don't know about the economy and how things works in there, the industries. And we're going to talk more about it. But some facts about Uruguay, another one is that Uruguayans love football. And I would take a risk saying that maybe more than Brazilians. This picture, for example, is in a place, this building is a government place, and all these people are on the street. And when they have a huge game that Uruguay is playing, they put this huge screen on the street, and everyone stop everything they're doing, and they just go there and sit and watch the game. And this is really part of the culture of Uruguay. People love football. And when they have an important game, people are going to stop to see it. And you can see that this day was kind of cold because Uruguay is cold, but people don't care. They just drink their mate or wine or some tea, and they're just going to watch the game. They're going to laugh together, cry together, or celebrate together. And this is so important to them that once I was at work and something was happening, some kind of type of games. I'm not very connected with football. And I said everyone was so concentrated, and I said, "Hey, are Uruguay playing today?" And the guys started to be so crazy about it. They're playing. They're playing. It's not today. I think it's tomorrow. It was yesterday. It's today. What is happening? And I said, "Okay, okay. It was just a joke." And I think they hate me because of this joke until nowadays. Not sure, but this is a possibility. So this is kind of important jokes to do not do in Uruguay. I will be back about football and Uruguay the next slides. But the last fact about Uruguay is that Uruguay is a really important global tech hub. And most people don't know about that, even people that know that Uruguay exists. And I will not just say for me. I let this here. I'm sorry, it was to paint the whole screen. But this news is from, I don't know, it's from this year. You global leader in software exports, and this is one of the fields that I was working when I was living there, and it's true, and it's really important. And the most of the technology companies that are there are exporting to US. Another one is I will I will get into the Uruguayan part, but SAP, a huge CRM company, was named as a leader 2020 Magic Quadrant for the Milk Experience Development Plan. And being the Gartner is really important. And most important is that we have Henexus here. And Henexus is a huge technology company in Uruguay. Is technology that was born in Uruguay, playing with companies. And this is important because I know that it's not a Brazilian company, but it's just our neighbors. So this is talent for South America as well, and it has impact for us. So it's so huge. I will not talk much about Henexus here, but you can search for it. They have a lot of technology around the world, and they are building really, really, really great stuffs. And they have a really big impact in technology for Uruguay. So I think they start to be part of the quadrant in 2017. Another one is that Google just bought a huge property in Uruguay Science Park, and this negotiation started when I was living there in 2017, 2016, and they are going. And this news is for, I don't know, less than 1 month ago, and they're going to start to build this there. And it's so important for Uruguay. It is important for us. There's a lot of impacts. And another one is that TCS, Tata Consultant Service Company, they are in Uruguay as well, just as other companies, Amazon. And it's very strong there because they have these huge areas for company to work, and the government imposes everything for the companies to be in there and to work, and the taxes and all of this. So Uruguay has a lot of technology, right? And I think one question is, how did I end up in Uruguay? How I moved to love dogs, and I would like to be a veterinarian, and started to move it to Uruguay, start to work there. So one point is ISEC, and move it to Uruguay started with ISEC. ISEC is a global organization that exists since the end of the Second War, and they have a lot of impacts in the world. It's a youth leadership movement. They are partnered with more than 7,000 of companies around the world, just like DHL, TCS, Microsoft, Electrolux, so huge companies. And then I took the challenge to be a business development director in Uruguay. This was me, I think, in my first week in Uruguay. I uh, just fun fact. It was my second time in Uruguay. The first time I went there, it was so terrible. I had such a hard time. And then I say, never get back to Uruguay. And then I went and I lived for almost 3 years. So I decided to take this challenge in there to work as a business development director. And my job was to sell one of our programs for startups and tech companies. It was basically internship programs for people from another country to go to Uruguay and to the, and it was a good offer because they have a lot of investments in there. So sometimes companies get some millions and they don't know what to do with these, and sometimes they don't have the right people to do it, so they need to search for it. So it was a huge opportunity for us. And then I wasn't alone. I was with, and I had another challenge that was living with people from 4 different countries: Peru, Chile, Uruguay, and Mexico, and learn with them because we had the same goal and we needed to work together. So this is some pictures about my time in there and in the events and participating things. This picture in the middle, for example, is very connected with the points I'm going to tell you next, because this is in the Piso 40. And the Piso 40 is it's a very exclusive club for business people in the World Trade Center in Uruguay. Yes, they have a World Trade Center, a little one, but they have. And the Piso 40, the fourth floor, is the last one and is the most important. And you just get there with an invitation. And through my connection with people, I start to get into this kind of events and this kind of people. But it was just no, it was just to be in the Piso 40. No, it was because to sell in a different country, speaking Spanish, a different language, I had to find a way to highlight. So starting with how did I embrace my opportunities in my first year in Uruguay? The first topic is the people are Brazilians. And this is a huge opportunity because I remember to get very angry because people was all the time, the Brazilian girl, the Brazilian girl, the Brazilian girl. And I said, oh my God. And then they say, oh my God, I'm going to use it. And then I start to use this to create connection with different people. So by creating this connection, this bond with people, I start to get into more events, more areas, more companies, and of course, I start to sell more. So when I went to this kind of events, it was not just it was for look for and to talk with people. And in the next day, when someone receive a call from me, they would be able to put a face in that phone call. And also because of the food, they also had great food. I think all events in Uruguay they have pizza and beer, so it was also because of the food. But then I understood that sometimes we need to play the game, and I started to saw this as an opportunity. What it means to play the game as opportunity. Uh, I remember that one of my first sales meeting, the the owner for the company told me something like, "You need to speak Spanish if you want to sell here." And I said, "Okay, but I'm speaking no Uruguayan Spanish." I said, what is this? I never realized that there is a Uruguayan Spanish. And then he explained to me. And to put as simple as an example, if you say in Peru, chicken is pollo, but if you say in Uruguay, chicken is pocho. And I said, oh, okay. So another opportunity that came with this, it was to improve my Spanish, also because of the different people I was living with. And part of the playing the game is because I discovered that even that they wanted that me to speak Uruguayan Spanish, they love it when I fail with some word. Oh my God, so cool. She's Brazilian. And this was like with everyone. And I started to use these, like, and I started to make some mistakes sometimes on purpose because this helps to create that bond when you're in a sales meeting. And salespeople knows about this. And so I think this is the first opportunities that I saw in my first year in Uruguay, and how did I embrace this? But talking about connecting with different people, so connect with people is really really important. And I think one of the most important learnings here is we can connect with people once, but we can use this as opportunity for many and many times. I mean, one thing months trying to sell to a guy. And I try it. And after some months, he sent me an email. Hey, Carla, let's close the deal. And I said, okay, Leo. And I was so happy because we're closing the deal. It was important for us. It was important for our goal that month. And that we are doing for, I don't know, 3 months with him. So I was so happy because we are going to close the company. So this with ISEC. And so after, I think it was for the weekend, he sent me a message again saying that he wasn't able to close the deal. And I tried to understand what is happening, and it was something more personal. And they said, okay. And I got a little bit upset because we weren't able to close the deal. But I said, I need to keep this connection with Liu, and he was open to it. Um, so I start to see that all events Liu was important for the community, for the tech community in Uruguay, and managing in Uruguay. I'm going to keep the connection with, and so many events. Hi Leo, hi. And in April, I was finishing my term in Uruguay, and I sent this email to him saying, "Hi, how are you? I'm looking for a part-time opportunity here in Montevideo. Send you my resume. If you know some opportunity, please let me know." I said yes, it could be. He knows a lot of people. Maybe he knows about some opportunity, and he could make this introduce with someone. And for my surprise, less than a few days later, I was hired by Leo to work with his company. So it was my first time working like official, formalized employee in Uruguay, and it took it, I don't know, less than 1 week since I sent the first email and we discussed it. It was my first negotiation for a job opportunity and in Spanish. So this is the kind of things about opportunities. It was not just once. I I, I didn't sell it for Leo for 195th Labs ISEC program, but I get this opportunity. So I started in 195th Labs as a growth leader, and I was responsible for the marketing sales area and to support the company in these areas, to create our digital presence and to focus in the US market. And I have this video that I want to share. I'm not sure. Okay, I have this video that I want to share. Uh, why this video? Because 195th Labs was in a place that named Synergia Tech. And Synergia was with a lot of projects and a lot of companies. And that's why I would like to share this video for you to understand how did I went from agriculture, government, to veterinary, to ISEC, and 195th Labs. I needed to know if you guys are hearing it because it looks like no. Oh.
sociedad está cambiando.
Wait.
Las soluciones ya, creo que a nivel sociedad está cambiando la manera.
Can you hear it? I would just get back here. Paula! Hey, Isaac!
De consumir, la manera de vincular. Creo que a nivel sociedad está cambiando la manera de consumir, la manera de vincularse con el mundo, ¿no? O sea, las soluciones ya, la sociedad no espera que vengan de arriba hacia abajo, sino que vayan de abajo hacia arriba.
Technology arrive in some way that it's time to cut other industries, such like health, agriculture, agronomy. We have a lot of cases here around about trying to tackle those problems and using technology in order to take everything to a next level.
Tener una comunidad de conocimiento que tenga a disposición equipamiento y maquinaria para poder desarrollar casi cualquier objeto. Confluir diferentes disciplinas para crear soluciones a problemas reales, enfocados en Smart City, en el medio ambiente, en proyectos culturales también.
We have engineering, we have creatives, we have designers, we have entrepreneurs, we have investors, and we put this ecosystem together just to explode the possibilities and expand them.
Cuando entras, ves toda la gente trabajando, haciendo cosas fantásticas y te da ganas de compartir tus ideas y de abrirte.
Cross-pollination, o sea, la forma que vos podés agarrar y relacionarte con otros coworkers, con otros proyectos, ¿no? Y de repente salen ideas que no podrían salir si no fuese por la interacción con los otros proyectos que están en la vuelta de acá.
Acá desarrollamos todas las nuevas tecnologías, las ideas que creamos en casa y tenemos un taller en casa, pero acá que tiene las máquinas, CI&T que fornece las máquinas, corte láser, impresoras 3D para prototipaje.
Está todo el equipamiento necesario para hacer prototipos. Lo que nos pasó fue que no nos llegaron los materiales que habíamos comprado para hacer las ruedas de los robots. Y lo que nos ocurrió, bueno, ¿qué tenemos acá? Bueno, tenemos PVC expandido. Y vamos a diseñar una rueda y lo cortamos en la cortadora láser. En 30 minutos teníamos como 60 ruedas y salvamos el taller gracias a que teníamos la máquina a la mano.
Es importante que nosotros podamos estar presentes con la educación formal y cómo vinculamos educación formal con este tipo de educación más práctica, más del hacer, del aprendizaje en el fracaso, desde un experimento, desde una prueba, desde un ensayo, desde que muchas disciplinas se interconecten en un espacio como este. Desde ahí donde uno puede generar nuevos productos, puede generar cambio de paradigma para desarrollar y generar innovación de verdad, ¿no?
Yo creo que un espacio como este cuando estaba en la universidad hubiera sido increíble, también cuando estaba en el liceo. Yo me acuerdo que le preguntaba a mis profesores si me podía quedar más tiempo en el laboratorio y bueno, muchas veces no estaba la infraestructura como para que yo me pudiera quedar sola en el laboratorio.
I've always wanted to create stuff to make real the things that I was imagining, but with the high school and everything, I think I had lost that. And the thing is, being here helped me find that again. Because I can use my hands to do stuff.
The thing is that just to set out a platform to people just to build stuff, like an empty space, like a white paper, where you have all the possibilities just to start to draw.
De acá a 5 años me gustaría ver cómo CI&T aportó a desarrollar otro tipo de espacios similares en Uruguay y en la región. Que se animen a plantear, tirar proyectos sobre la mesa, ideas, y a partir de ahí con la comunidad poder desarrollarlo.
It's a great opportunity for young, talented people from Uruguay and from the region to play global and to materialize their dreams, basically.
Creo que a nivel sociedad está cambiando la manera de consumir.
No te queremos escuchar. Perdón. Sorry. Let's get back. So this was of the kind of the environment I was inserted. And I started to live it and to breathe all these kind of things. And then in 195th Labs, things were different as well. So this is part of the opportunities I'm going to say in the next topic. But this is a little one, another one short video about how was life working with 195th Labs. So being part of all of this movement that I shared in this video with a lot of technology and a lot of things happening, but also with this. So basically, everything was reason to celebrate and to have a barbecue in Uruguay. And I started to look at the other opportunities that work with 195th Labs was bringing to me. And one of these opportunities was start to work with product. So we started to host the official event for the product hunt in Uruguay, and to talk with other companies, and to present their products to other communities in Uruguay. I also been part of the 500 startups. They had some programs in there, and I was able to participate with them. And also in 2018, they had the first campus party in Uruguay, and it was something huge. I was already living in Brazil, but I went there, and it's because 195th Labs was partnering with the event. So I went there. I was working remotely. I was working there, and a lot of things. So about this chapter in my life, working with 195th Labs and with all the other opportunities I took working with ISEC in Uruguay. The first one is it's not just about play the game, but it's about being part of the game. So when I started 195th Labs, is connected with this, I had to be very honest with me, with people that I was working with, and open to learn. Because it was my first time working with a software company. And I remember the first time that Leo and I sit to work together. And he started to tell me about backend and full stack and front end. And I said, yes, okay, we are going to do it. And I was like, okay, we need to stop and we need to teach some basic concepts. Because to sell to US, I needed to know all these things. So it was my first time learning all the things and being part of all that game and all that movement and learning with them and teaching them as well. And it was very important points of my career in there and these opportunities and the challenge. Also, to enjoy the new. So not everything needed to be just to rush and to learn and to suffer. Opportunities is also part of, enjoy the opportunity. So I started to enjoy to work with to the events of product hunting, to know more about the other components of the ecosystem and to know about their products and how they were contributing for Uruguay and the other places in the world. And also to enjoy what you have around you and take these opportunities. How do you do this? Talk with them, ask them, be part of it. And this is what I did with Synergia Tech, IBM, that was working on the door next to us. The 500 startups, you can make great connections in there. The seed DART presentations. And all of these had a really important impact. And well, in 2018, I came back to Brazil. And it was time to start a new chapter. So I moved back. I was living in Montevideo, and I came to Campo Grande because I am in Campo Grande now. And I stopped at one moment and I started to think that I wanted to keep learning. I want to keep that experience I was having in Uruguay and the experience in technology. And then I said, how am I going to do this here in Campo Grande? I search for opportunities. I search for companies, for movements. And I said, okay, there's opportunities. And then I made a short list of companies in Brazil that I would like to work with. And I was still working remotely with 19050 Labs, but I was looking for another opportunity here in Brazil. And then I made this short list, and I put 3 companies that would be that companies. And then one of these companies hired me. That was Rock Content. And then I joined Rock Content in 2018, and I work with as a community analyst first, working with some process. And then I was promoted to onboarding supervisor. So I started to work more with customers and customer onboarding, customer success. And then I think it was my last experience in there, I was invited to work with the company acquisition. So I started to work a little bit with M&A, and because Rock Content was acquiring a company in the US. And then when I look at the opportunities, I think that Rock Content is a place with a lot of opportunities. And if you stop and take a look at the place you are now, you probably have the same opportunities or not. It depends of the context. But sometimes you need to create the opportunities as well. And I remember that I was talking with someone, I think in my first month in Rock Content, and this girl, she told me, hey, there's a lot of opportunities in here, but you need to create yours. It's not just, yes, let opportunity, I'm going to take it. You need to create it. So one of these was the community cast. Yes, I hosted a podcast that was the community cast from Rock Content. So you can search for it, I'm there. And I created the whole project. I had the support for the community team, and then we put some episodes, but really quickly I moved it to another team. So they didn't follow with the project, but I learned a lot about podcasts, about monetized podcasts. I was able to be with Sam Rush and work with seminars with them about podcasts, and was a great learning. And also to be in connect with other people. And then also I started to be invited to a lot of events. And I remember when I get to this event and they said, oh my God, it was about 300, 400 people. And they said, I never spoke for so many people. What I'm going to do here? I was so small. I am small, but I was so small looking to all that people. And they said, okay, let's do it. And I started to speak in a lot of events for a lot of different topics, community, digital marketing. And at one point I said, I need to stop because this is having an interference in my job. So at some point I said, okay, I can't travel to speak anymore. Oh, it was before the pandemic when we could travel to seminars and things like that. But speaking events is a really huge opportunity. You can make these great connections with people. You can know about other topics. It's a lot of different opportunities, and you need to canalize with what you're looking for. And also, sometimes it is important to say, okay, say goodbye. And this is what I did when I moved to the community team to another team, and also when I leave Rock Content. And this was our community team, like really cute for pictures. And about the challenge and opportunities and how did I manage with Rock Content, the first one is to choose what you want for your career, or at least what you do not want. And this is important because when I came back from Uruguay, for example, I said, maybe I'm not so sure about what I want, but I know what I do not want. So when I made my short list, I was considering a few things that I knew that I wanted in my career, but also the things that I knew that I didn't want it. And I chose these companies because it was connected with startups. So I really loved the environment, also with technology. Rock Content at that point was a digital marketing company, but they now are a SaaS marketplace. So being part of this, it was really important. And the other topic is being part of the game and is repeated. It was to being part of the business. And this is what I did when I started to the podcast initiative, for example, or to speak in other events, because it normally the events was like, hey, we have this event, we are someone from Rock Content there, wants to be there. And it was in the beginning, and after this, people came directly to me, hey, I saw you speaking in the other event, I'd like to invite you for this event. And this is really nice, and this has been part of the business as well, because it pushes you to learn more about the business, because when you're talking to other people, here is different. I'm talking about my experience, but if I'm going to say about how to be a Scrum Master, for example, I need to be sure about what the message I'm selling for people. So it pushes you to learn as well more, and knowing the moment to move ahead. And this is important because sometimes we are stuck at some place and we are not seeing other opportunities. We're not looking ahead, and this is part of life. Sometimes we are going to need to move on, to move to another company, to move to another job, to move to another project, to move to another country. This is part of the life. And this is an opportunity that we need to understand that is the moment. And if so, take it. And well, we're almost finishing, promising. But journeying all this history was to being here as a Scrum Master with CI&T. So I remember my interview with CI&T. It was for a project manager opportunity. Someone referred to me, and I started to talk about with the recruiters, and it was, yes, but I kind of worked with different projects before. I'm not sure if it's the same projects we're looking here. And well, what do you think? I don't know. And what do you like? I like to work with technology, and I want to migrate totally to work in this industry, to work with technology, with software development, and to work with people that are truly doing this. And then CI&T hired me as a Scrum Master. And well, I'm still looking, I'm still seeing the opportunities. I mean, I already embraced it, a lot of opportunities here in CI&T, but this list is going to be probably for another session because it still has a lot of things to discover, has a lot of things to see, to do, and challenges, opportunities that will came with this. I think I'm here 8 months since September past year. And I already learned a lot, and this is the last opportunity that I embrace it. And I think that's it. Just to remember the 4 points I put it here, that is connecting with different people. So don't forget about it, how people can help you, support you, can introduce you for other people, can create another opportunities to you. Being honest and open to learn all the time. If you don't know, ask. If you want to learn something new, ask it to someone, and being open and honest about it. Choose what you want for your career, what you do not want. And if you never did this, is a really important movement. So stop it, I don't know, 30 minutes and try to think about this. And the last one is enjoy the environment you have around you. At that moment, I had this environment, so I enjoyed all these environments. And you need to know what you have around you and to take and to embrace it as well. And that's it. Thank you.